Hello! Welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching OreSuki Episode 2. So, last episode we were introduced to our main character. Let me see, I got my anime list up, so let me at least look at his name. Kisaragi. Wow, okay, so you see him walking to school with his childhood friend, and find out once they get to school that he is also in the student council. Throughout the first part of the series, or the episode, I should say, you kind of get the feeling that the childhood friend kind of likes him. When the student council president, let me see, Akino, shows up, she starts getting kind of angry at him, calls him an idiot, and all that, and walks off. And he ends up going with the student council president. I think it was definitely looked like a date. Like they went out, they had a picnic, basically a date. But at the point where she usually in a show like this, the girl or somebody confesses, she actually says that she's in love with his best friend. And she wants him to help her get closer to him and get into a relationship with him. You could tell he was really angry about this. I probably would be too, because I don't know. And at first it looked like he was going to say no, but then he looks at her and kind of goes, "Okay, I'll do it." At the same time, he also had a date planned with his childhood friend for the next day. So they went out. I believe they saw a movie and hung out and did all kinds of different things. And then at the point where she would confess, she also admits that she's in love with his best friend and wants him to help her get closer to him and start a relationship. And even angrier, because this happened to him the day before, he's about to say no, but then looks at her and again says, "All right, whatever, I'll do it." Then when he gets home, you find out that he's been planning some kind of way to get into a relationship with either one of the two, being nice to them, all this stuff like planning he had, and then all of a sudden it's thrown out the window because they're in love with his friend who's like the top player on the baseball team. And then comes up with the idea, because at first he was thinking maybe I should just sabotage them, that way neither of them get what they want. But then he thought, okay, maybe I should help both of them and then try to get closer to the one who gets rejected. So that's his plan from now on. And he even tells his childhood friend, "Look, the student council president also told me the same thing the day before, so I'm going to help her out as well." Which she wasn't too happy to hear about, but once he said, "Okay, let's start working on your strategy for getting closer to him," she perked up a bit. And she is definitely not that bright. Either that or she was just super nervous and totally messed up the first part of the plan. Because the way it was supposed to work was they got to school, he's supposed to walk into the classroom, start talking to his friend, and then she's supposed to come in and start talking to them, and then he'll come up with some kind of excuse. I think it was like, I have to go to the student council room for a bit to talk to the president, and I'll be back, you guys continue talking. But she just completely ruined it. She is saying things that she's not supposed to be saying, that he's supposed to be saying. And then when he finally does his part and say, oh, I gotta go do something, she starts yelling at him. And he's like, look, just shut up. Like thinking to himself, shut up. Just stay here and talk to him. So he walks off. Goes to the student council room. Talks to the student council president. Tells her the same thing. That the best friend, or the childhood friend, told him the same thing she did. And he's going to help them both out. Basically the same situation here too. She gets upset until he says, look, let's go over your strategy. And then she gets a little more happy about that. It was almost the same thing, except this was more like after school. And what was it that he had her do? They were supposed to talk about something that was supposed to get her to start trying to be his friend, when instead she just says, let's be friends. And he's like, what is wrong with these people? It worked though. He's like, all right. I mean, he was a little confused at first, but then the guy was like, all right, yeah, sure, we could be friends. Then he goes to the library, where it's usually where he goes to think. I'm pretty sure it might not have been after school. I think it was lunch where this happened. So he goes to the library so he can kind of be alone and think and relax a little bit after everything that's happened the first half of the school day. This other girl walks up. Black hair, glasses. What's her name? Sumireko. She walks up to him and starts trying to talk to him, and he's like, look, get away from me. I don't like you. But then she brings up everything that happened between the student council president, the childhood friend, and himself. And he's like, how do you know all this? And she's like, oh, I've been stalking you for a while. So I know everything that's going on. The one thing I didn't mention about the confessions was that every time it started, the girl would sit on a bench, ask him to sit next to her, and then she would start going into her little explanation. I bring that up now because this girl bought a bench and set it up in the library so that she could do the same thing. Sit down, ask him to sit next to her, pretty much go into the same speech that the other two did, except at the end she says that she likes him, which really upsets him because he apparently really hates this girl. Now the thing is, she does not like the nice, friendly version of himself. She likes the real him, the jerk, the one who's pretending to be these girls' friend just so he could potentially get a date or date one of them. I'm pretty sure he's not pretending to be his childhood friend's friend. I'm pretty sure they've been friends for a while, but now he's just kind of using it to try to be with her. Or with the student council president, either one. She likes that version of himself. So when they start talking and he starts trying to act like his usual self, how he is around everybody else, she's like, no, stop that. I don't want to talk to that one. Give me the real you. So basically, she's blackmailing him into coming to the library and talking with her every lunch. Otherwise, she'll go to his best friend and tell him everything that is going on. So he agrees to do it. I'm pretty sure as this series goes on, at least it's usually what happens in a series like this, but I mean, this is already kind of different from all the other shows that deal with this kind of thing. Usually, this will start happening, and eventually the guy will start getting feelings for the girl and all that. But I don't know if that's going to happen here, because so far it's been kind of backwards on everything. So maybe he'll start talking to her in the library and just start hating her more. I don't know. You have to find out. Alright. So the video is going to be located over here, and the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. Come on. There we go. And we're going to start this episode in 3, 2, 1.